Today we answer the question, can this $94 USB microphone keep up with one twice as expensive? No, who put this in the script? Take two. Today we answer the question, in a world of teleworking and online learning, is this inexpensive condenser mic your ticket to better audio? Oh, he's doing another product review? That's it. Unsubscribe. Easy there. I have more guitar building and music teaching videos coming, some big ones in fact, but in the meantime, I'm doing a few smaller videos like this. With that out of the way, if you're like most people, you're spending a lot of time video conferencing these days. A lot of you are still using the built-in microphone on your laptop. You know who you are. And I can't blame you. It is easy, and it's built in. The only problem is, these things are terrible. All of them.
I mean, really, it sounds like I'm talking to you through a tin can. And who wants that?
Fortunately, there are affordable solutions that can make you sound, well, like you. Today we're going to take a look at one such solution. Recently, a company called FiFine, or is it FiFine? At any rate, they reached out to me and asked me to take a look at their USB condenser mic, the K690. Being a music teacher, I spend hours every day speaking, singing, and playing instruments for my virtual classes. That should give us plenty of opportunity to put this mic through its paces. As always, these are my honest opinions. I have no contract or special agreement with FiFine, and I'm under no obligation to say anything I don't think is true. If you saw my glary guitar video, then you know I'm not afraid to call it like it is. It's the kind of thing you can take with you camping and not worry if a bear eats it. They're probably not going to give me any more guitars, are they? Anyway, on with the review. My K690 came directly from Amazon, link in the description, and it was at my house within 2 days. Taking it out of the box, I was impressed with the packaging itself. Everything was neatly packed and well protected. That might not sound like a big deal, but I once purchased a pair of microphones that the seller had shipped together inside of a dirty sock. Surprise, one was broken. Actually, that glary guitar arrived broken too, so maybe packaging does matter. Along with the microphone, it comes with some documentation, a USB cable, and a very nice little adapter to allow it to attach to a variety of stands. The build quality of this microphone is quite good. It feels sturdy, and the metal casing has a nice matte finish. I really like the stand it came on too. It balances well and stays at whatever angle I place it. On the front of the microphone you'll find a mute switch and volume knob. On the bottom there's a headphone jack, USB connection, and threaded microphone mount. On the rear there's two more knobs, one to control input gain and the other to select a pickup pattern. Having all those dedicated controls is really useful, and I'll talk more about that later. After plugging in my K690, my computer immediately recognized it and I began testing. I used it in all of my virtual teaching, and at the end of 2 weeks, I have to say, I'm impressed. For such a basic and affordable product, it comes with some really useful features. The dial on the back allows you to easily switch between pickup patterns. Using its multi-capsule design, you can choose from cardioid, bidirectional, omnidirectional, and even a stereo field. I found this to be incredibly useful because while I spend most of my time in cardioid mode, where it's facing toward me and rejecting other sounds, there's a lot of times when I found myself switching to the omnidirectional setting because I wanted my students to hear something that I couldn't put directly in front of the mic, say maybe my speaker or a drum that's over there. Having that all tied to a physical dial I could just reach over and turn was invaluable. Speaking of physical controls, I have to tell you, this mute switch on the front has totally made my week. Okay, I hear you. Why on earth is this guy so excited about a mute button? Well, if you've been in a meeting where you have to keep muting and unmuting yourself, you know exactly why. When I'm teaching a class, I'm juggling 5 different tabs and multiple screens. It's just so helpful to have at least one thing tied to a physical button I can reach for. Overall, I was very impressed with the ease of use from the K690. I felt like it did its job and stayed out of my way. I never had to think about it or go into a menu to mess with something. So the K690 earns high marks on ease of use, but what about audio quality? How does this thing sound? Well, if you've watched this far, then you already know because I've been speaking into it the entire time. But context is everything. We really can't judge this microphone's performance without something to compare it to. This is my Rode NT1-a. I use it for vocals, acoustic guitars, and voiceovers. It's a very popular microphone and should provide a good benchmark for our test. As a nod to Thomas Edison, let's reenact the world's first sound recording.
Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go.
This is Mary Had a Little Lamb on the Rode NT1. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. This is Mary Had a Little Lamb on the K690. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Okay, the Rode sounds better, and I was expecting it to for more than twice the price. The sound is simply more natural, much clearer. That's probably down to its superior signal-to-noise ratio and the more pleasing frequency response. Now to be clear, the K690's audio is not bad, it's just very okay. It's a bit muddy, it seems to have trouble reproducing the low frequencies of my voice, and also loses detail in the highs. Even with some EQ, you really don't get those frequencies back. But hold your horses there, because while it clearly loses out to the more expensive NT1-a, that probably wasn't the mic you were thinking of buying instead. No, you were probably thinking of this, the Blue Yeti. And the good news is, compared to that, I think this mic sounds about the same, while coming in $30 less expensive. Now, if you have to have great audio quality, save up your money and go for something like the NT1-a. But before you do, consider a few things. The Rode is more than twice as expensive, coming in at $229 on most websites. Not only that, it isn't plug and play. You'll need a separate audio interface, which by itself will cost more than the K690. You'll also be managing more cables, and don't forget the pop filter. All that's totally fine for recording, and I wouldn't have it any other way, but for a meeting, this is kind of overkill, when all I want is a mic that's easy to use and sounds pretty good. So, where do we stand? The K690 gets high marks for build quality and ease of use. It sounds about as good as most USB microphones do, but if you're really going to split hairs about audio quality, this probably isn't for you. No, its real value in my opinion is how effortless it is to set up and use. I can plug it in and start using it in less than 10 seconds, and that's when I haven't had my coffee yet. When you have a class or a meeting and a million other things to think about, convenience and reliability is everything, and that's where this product excels. Should you buy it for your music studio or serious voiceover work? No, and I don't think that's who it's designed for. This is for the teacher, the teleworker, or even the budding musician. Bottom line, if you're looking for an inexpensive, easy-to-use USB mic, I don't think you could go too wrong here. Well, that's it for this one. Hopefully I'll have another video for all of you soon, and I promise it won't be another product review. Until then, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Grace, what'd you think of the video?
It was so blah.